In 1980, a small software company made a decision that transformed technology forever. When IBM approached Microsoft to provide an operating system for their first personal computer, Bill Gates chose not to sell their software outright. Instead, he negotiated a non-exclusive licensing deal that allowed Microsoft to license the same software to IBM's competitors. That single decision generated billions in recurring revenue and established the foundation for one of the greatest business empires in history. Conventional wisdom held that hardware, not software, was where computing's value resided. But Gates saw differently. In an industry obsessed with building machines, he recognized that controlling the code running those machines created unprecedented leverage. Welcome to Simple Storytellers, where we make complex business crystal clear. Today, we'll unpack how Bill Gates transformed a brilliant idea into the Microsoft empire through strategic decisions that anyone can understand and learn from. Let's dive into the strategic insights that enabled a Harvard dropout to outmaneuver corporate giants and build a trillion-dollar company. And discover what today's entrepreneurs can learn from Gates' journey about creating exponentially scalable business models. From teen coder to tech titan, Bill Gates' entrepreneurial journey began at Seattle's exclusive Lakeside School, where he gained access to computers in 1968 when most universities barely had computing facilities. This rare opportunity allowed him to accumulate thousands of programming hours during his teenage years. I had better exposure to software development at a young age than I think anyone did in that period of time, and all because of an incredibly lucky series of events, Gates later reflected. His partnership with Paul Allen combined Gates' business acumen and competitive drive with Allen's technical vision. Most importantly, Gates possessed an ambitious vision, putting a computer on every desk and in every home, running Microsoft software. This bold vision came at a time when most people thought computers were just toys for hobbyists. The challenge. In 1975, the personal computer industry barely existed. When Gates and Allen spotted the Altair 8800 microcomputer on the cover of Popular Electronics, they recognized a pivotal moment. The challenge? They had no product ready, minimal resources, and faced established competitors. The business model for software remained unclear. Most software was either bundled free with hardware or custom developed at high costs. There was no established market for mass-produced, packaged software, the model that would eventually make Microsoft billions. The critical question was how a small startup could establish itself in a market dominated by hardware companies. As Gates later noted, the critical decision was not just what software to build, but how to capture its value. And this is where it gets fascinating. Gates' billion-dollar strategies might sound complex, but we're going to make them crystal clear. In the next few minutes, you'll understand these game-changing business moves so simply, you can apply them to your own ventures. The 3 genius moves that changed everything. Microsoft's rise hinged on several key strategic decisions. The transformative 1980 IBM deal saw Gates purchase an existing system QDOS for $50,000, modify it into MS-DOS, and license it to IBM. Crucially, Gates retained the rights to license the software to other manufacturers. This approach proved revolutionary as the PC clone market exploded. Our business strategy from the beginning was to license multiple hardware manufacturers, while most other software developers were selling directly to users or aligning with a single hardware maker, Gates explained. This approach generated recurring revenue streams and positioned Microsoft at the center of the computing ecosystem. Gates' licensing approach functioned like a toll bridge on the highway to personal computing, collecting revenue from every vehicle that passed. Gates expanded this model by focusing on software platforms that could support vast ecosystems of applications. Windows evolved from a simple graphical interface into the dominant computing platform, creating powerful network effects. As more developers built for Windows, the platform became more valuable to users, attracting more developers in a self-reinforcing cycle. Microsoft complemented this with Microsoft Office, which became the standard for business computing, creating another powerful lock-in effect. Throughout Microsoft's growth, Gates demonstrated remarkable adaptability to market threats, most notably pivoting the company toward the internet in the mid-1990s after his famous Internet tidal wave memo. The billion-dollar payoff. The impact of Gates' strategic decisions was profound. According to industry analysts, by the mid-1990s, Microsoft Windows had achieved over 90% market share in PC operating systems, and Microsoft Office dominated business productivity software with similar market penetration. This dominance translated into extraordinary financial performance. Microsoft's public financial reports show that between 1986 and 2000, the company's revenue grew from $197 million to over $23 billion, a 116-fold increase. The company's licensing model proved remarkably scalable, with software that could be reproduced at near zero marginal cost, generating robust profit margins often exceeding 25%. Beyond financial metrics, Microsoft transformed how software was developed, distributed, and monetized, accelerating innovation industry-wide through the platform Gates created. Gates's personal wealth grew to make him the world's richest person for many years, eventually enabling his pivot to philanthropy through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
All of my wealth will go into the foundation, and the foundation with partners will have huge impacts on getting rid of diseases and making sure children thrive.
5 Gates strategies you can use today. Gates' journey offers several valuable lessons for today's entrepreneurs. 1. Business model innovation can create more value than product innovation. Gates's licensing approach revolutionized software economics. What innovative business models might transform your industry? 2. Strategic partnerships provide critical leverage for startups. Microsoft's IBM deal delivered instant credibility and market access. 3. Intellectual property strategy is a cornerstone of technology business. Gates' insistence on retaining licensing rights created Microsoft's future. 4th, platform thinking creates exponential value. By building platforms others could build upon, Microsoft created a self-reinforcing ecosystem. 5. Leadership must evolve as organizations scale. Gates transformed from a hands-on programmer to a strategic visionary as Microsoft grew. The conventional wisdom in 1975 was that hardware companies would dominate computing. By recognizing software's unique economics, high development costs but near zero reproduction costs, Gates created a business model perfectly suited for unprecedented scale. If this breakdown helped you understand how Gates built Microsoft, smash that like button and subscribe to Simple Storytellers.
So I think this should absolutely be a priority.
Drop a comment below. Which of Gates's strategies could transform your business idea? We'd love to hear your insights. As we enter a new era of artificial intelligence, blockchain, and other emerging technologies, the question becomes, what business model innovations will similarly transform these fields? Which entrepreneurs will recognize, as Gates did, that the path to extraordinary scale will not follow conventional wisdom, but rather reinvent it entirely?